Let's take the idea of the arithmetic progression further and discuss how to find the average of an arithmetic progression. Okay, consider this very simple arithmetic series: 4, 7, 10, 13, and 16. Now, if I want to figure out the average of this particular series, one of the regular ways of finding the average of any group of numbers is to find the sum of that number. So average, you all probably know, is equal to sum of all terms divided by the number of terms. Now in this case we have these 5 terms: 4 and 7 and 10 and 13 and 16, and I add them all up and I divide them by 5. The sum of these 5 terms is going to be 50, so I get 50 upon 5, which is equal to 10. You'll notice that 10 is also the middle term of this particular series, and that's no coincidence, by the way. It's a fact that for all arithmetic series, if the number of terms is odd, then the average is equal to the middle term itself. Okay? In other words, the average is equal to the median, right? And this works for all arithmetic progressions. You'll also notice one thing interesting in this, which is if I find the average of the first term, which is 4, and the last term, which is 16, just these two terms, if I just do 4 plus 16 divided by 2, I get 20 upon 2, which is also equal to 10, also equal to the average, also equal to the middle term, right? Which brings us to a very interesting and important conclusion. The average of an arithmetic progression is equal to the median. It is also equal to the average of the first and last terms. So, if any arithmetic series is given to you and you're asked to figure out the average of that series, you have the option of identifying the median, or you could just do the first term plus the last term divided by 2. That's how you can find the average of any arithmetic series. So now remember that the most important formula, one of the most important formulas in the arithmetic series, is to find the average, which is equal to a plus L divided by 2, where a is the first term and L is the last term, the first term and the last term. This is very important. You all need to remember this. Alright, now I want you to try out these 5 questions. For each of these questions, your job is very simple. You need to find the average of each of these arithmetic series. Okay, remember, try to figure out the answer in the shortest possible way, and you can use the formula a plus L upon 2. So I'll hit the pause button right now, try out these 5 questions, and I'll tell you what the answers are. Go ahead. Good luck. Okay, here are the answers to these 5 questions. Question number 1. The average of this series is going to be 6 plus 22 divided by 2, which is 28 upon 2, that's equal to 14. The answer to the second question is going to be 8 plus 28 divided by 2, which is equal to 36 over 2, that's equal to 18. The answer to question number 3 is 13 plus 43 divided by 2, that gives you 56 over 2, which is equal to 28. Question number 4, it starts off with negative 13, ends at 5, so we'll do that. We'll say minus 13 plus 5 divided by 2, that gives you minus 8 over 2, that's equal to minus 4. And in question number 5, starts off with 100, ends at 65. It's a decreasing series, doesn't matter, we use the same method. We say 100 plus 65 divided by 2, which is equal to 165 over 2, which is equal to 82.5. Okay, I hope you got every one of these questions right. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next concept, how to find the sum of an arithmetic progression. Now, you probably know that to find the sum of a group of numbers, you can multiply the average of that group of numbers with the number of terms in that series, and that gives you the sum. That's true for any group of numbers. You know what the average is, you know what the number of terms is, you multiply average times n, that should be equal to the sum of that group. Okay, so the same thing stands true for arithmetic progressions as well. And in arithmetic progressions, we just learned that the average is equal to a plus l over 2. So therefore, the sum of an arithmetic progression can be found by the simple formula a plus l over 2, that's equal to the average, multiplied by the number of terms. Okay, and the same formula can also be written as n over 2 times a plus l. Remember, a is the first term and l is the last term, and n is the number of terms in that series. For example, the question says, find the sum of the following arithmetic series: 7, 10, 13, 16, and 19. Now, since there are 5 terms here, to find the sum of the series, I will simply do 5 over 2 into a plus l, where a is 7 and l is 19. So 7 plus 19. That gives me 5 over 2 times 26. And that is equal to 65. So the answer should be 65. I hope that's clear to you. Okay, I want you to figure out the sum of the following arithmetic series. Go ahead, give this a shot. What will be the sum of this series? Okay, I'm about to give you the answer. Alright, so the sum here, we're going to use the same formula, n over 2 into a plus l, where n is the number of terms. So we can count how many terms there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms in the series. So this should be 7 over 2 into a, which is 6, and l, which is 12. So 6 plus 12. That gives you 7 over 2 times 18, and that cancels out and gives you 7 times 9, which is equal to 63. That's the answer to this particular question. Right, here's another example. Try this question out. Find the sum of this arithmetic series. Hit the pause button and try the question yourself. Right, so I hope you have the answer. The correct answer is 432. And how do we do this? Again, the sum is going to be equal to n over 2 into a plus l. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 terms. So that's going to be 8 over 2 into 12, which is the first term, and 96, which is the last term. And that is equal to 4 times 96 and 12 is 108. So that should give you 432. So the answer is 432. Right, so we're going to discuss an alternate method of finding the sum of an arithmetic series. Now, we just learned that the sum of an arithmetic series is equal to n upon 2 into a plus l, where l is the last term, or the so-called nth term of the series. Now, if you remember in the previous video, we discussed that the nth term is equal to a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, this we can replace here in place of l. So the sum can be written as n over 2 into a plus n minus 1 into t. In place of l, we've written this entire thing, which becomes equal to n over 2. A plus a is equal to 2a plus n minus 1 times t. So this is the alternate formula of finding the sum of an arithmetic series. Okay, n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times t. Right, now try this question. Find the sum of this particular series that has 10 terms and whose first term is 6 and the common difference is 4. Try to use the second formula that we just learned. Go ahead and hit the pause button and try the question yourself before resuming to see the explanation. Alright, so here's the explanation for this particular question. So we're looking to find the sum of this particular series, and the sum we know is equal to n over 2 to 2a plus n minus 1 times the difference. Okay, now we know that the number of terms is 10. The first term is 6 and the common difference is 4. So we know that n is equal to 10, a is equal to 6, and d is equal to 4. So we plug in these values in the formula. So we get 10 upon 2 into 2 times 6 plus 10 minus 1 times 4. Okay, that gives us 5 times 2 and 6 is 12, plus 10 minus 1 is 9, and 9 times 4 is 36. 36 plus 12 is 48. So we get 5 times 48, which is equal to 240. So the answer to this question is 240. Okay, go ahead and try this question. To figure out the sum of the first 16 terms of an arithmetic progression whose first term is 9 and whose common difference is 5. Hit the pause button, try the question yourself before resuming to see the solution. Right. So, we know the following pieces of information. The number of terms is 16. The first term is 9. And the common difference d is equal to 5. So the sum is going to be n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. That's going to be 16 over 2 into 2a, that would mean 2 times 9, plus n minus 1, that would be 16 minus 1, times the difference, which is 5. And that gives you 8 times, and 2's are 18, plus 16 minus 1 is 15, times 5 is 75. That gives you 8 times 93, which is equal to 744. So the answer is 744. That's the end of the second video on arithmetic progressions.